Let's go back. Let's go back in time. You joined at a time where Arsenal, well, they hadn't been successful for a number of years. What did you find when you first went to Arsenal?
Listen, coming to England, going to Arsenal, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't have a clue about the Premier League because in France, the biggest league was the Italian league, the Serie A. The Serie A was the most followed league in France. So at that period, I knew nothing about Arsenal. So arriving there, I was quite really impressed by the unprofessional.
Did you say impressed by the unprofessionalism? Or?
Yes, because I came from AC Milan.
Yeah.
And AC Milan was like players arriving there 1 hour, 2 hours before training, well dressed. Costa Curta was coming every day in the training with the suit and the tie. There was like they were like having their lunch after training, and some of them was sleeping in the training ground before going back home. It was quite really really professional, yeah. And this is where I really learned really the job. And coming to Arsenal, and it was quite really the opposite. It was different.
Talk to us about it.
Well, they didn't have. We weren't turning up to train in suit and tie. That's for sure.
You didn't turn up on time, Tony Adams said.
I was always on time.
The approach and the mentality was completely different, and I felt really comfortable with it, and I loved it. It was quite really, really
relaxed,
laid back. It was all about what's going on the field, and it was about the passion and not thinking about tomorrow. Is about we are in training, we give 100%, we can train well, we can train bad. There were some mistakes, there was some technical mistakes, but always giving 100%. And that's completely different from the Italian culture that I learned before.
The players at that time still would have been probably going out for a drink after the game, wouldn't they?
Yeah, of course. We around I think the Christmas period.
Yes.
TJ Fridays in London.
TJ
Fridays in London. Straight away after training, but French players, we were coming for the dinner.
Yes.
But the guys, they were meeting like straight away after training.
1 o'clock.
So they would been
hammered,
eating and drinking until we get there, and this is when it was time for them to go home, and this is where we started to party.
Well, just talk to us about. I'm always interested, obviously, being a defender, the defence that you obviously had behind you. I know you and Emmanuel Petit played a brilliant role in front, but just talk to us about that back five: Winterburn, Dixon, Keown, Adams, and obviously Bold, and Seaman.
To be honest, I still don't understand how Nigel and Lee managed to play at that level. No, but
that's what he says about me.
I'm going to rephrase it.
No, we're keeping that in.
No, but what I mean is that in training, they were like 20% of... There were the two players that they were like 20% of what they were doing in the weekend. When they were training in the week, they was like, have a back issues, have a knee issues, have an ankle issues. Yeah. So they was always protecting themselves.
Yeah.
But coming to the weekend, I said, they can't play. But they were like amazing. And for me, as a holding midfielder with Manu at the time, we were feeling like strong. It was easy for us to play knowing what was behind us, because they were like competitors. They were like going to... There's people that you can go to fight with because you know that they will have you back. And they were warriors. They was like, there's no one games that you will go and getting scared and getting afraid, because you're looking around and you say, there's people there who will look after you back. So it was easy for us to be really challenging, because if there was something there, if there is a confrontation, we know that there will be people around us. So it was really easy to play behind those guys.
What was your first game? The first time I picture watching you,
Sheffield.
was it?
Yeah, I was on the bench. I came on
because
I think David Platt was injured.
Was it Platty?
Or Ray Parlour.
Ray Parlour.
Ray Parlour was injured.
I always remember There was a game away at Blackburn. Was that maybe your second or third? Did you score 2 away at Blackburn, 2-0?
Yeah, I did. That was Wenger's first game.
It was a Wenger.
Oh,
Wenger's
okay.
first game.
Okay, so Wenger had bought you even though he knew he was coming, didn't he?
Yes, we
Yeah.
spoke on the phone, and because Arsene was the manager at Monaco and I was playing for Cannes, so we knew each other. And I met him a couple of times in Milan, and he was telling me that he will be the Arsenal manager, that he will want me to come. But I get there before him, and I came with Rémi Garde.
Remy Gard, yeah. Remy.
And Arsene arrived a couple of months later,
Yeah.
I remember
But
Arsene Wenger said that Patrick's the one who's going to give him credibility, because obviously Patrick came and he had to wait.
Yeah.
And so this is why everybody is waiting to see how Patrick's going to perform. And then obviously that Sheffield Wednesday game, it kind of showed people what was happening.
Yeah, but
So you could see-
I was on the bench the first couple of games, and I was started to get frustrated because
going on?
I wasn't playing.
Could you? I think when I was at Liverpool and players come in, and it's even in the training session, so you're not starting games, but you're training every day. Was he one of those that came in and it's almost straight away you think, wow,
because,
we've got something here?
Yeah, because what you're thinking, and now it makes sense now when Patrick say he was frustrated. I never actually saw it at the time that he was frustrated, but he was playing in training at a very, very high level, to the point where you're thinking, well, surely he's gonna break in soon. He's gonna have to start soon. You know, but like I think the word was they wanted him to make sure that he's watching and see what's going on, see the aggressivity and everything was going on. But then once that game, I don't think after that game that was it, Patrick. He was in the
started to
team
play,
after that, yeah, because we knew, said it's only a matter of time before he gets in. You could see that it was.
But I say what my first recollection was I saw the highlights probably on Match of the Day, and I think you scored 2 in this Blackburn.
No.
Oh, you scored 1.
No. Shane. Tell him.
3.
Thank you.
Was that game 3?
Yeah, I scored a hat trick in the game. Don't take it away. You know what I mean? We're
Well, I
trying
thought
to
you scored. I
trying
thought
to
that
big up
game was
Patrick.
2-0. But I remember you
Give
playing
it
a
back to
pass.
I'm being told you scored 2.
In that game?
Yeah.
How are you going to tell? How's someone going to tell you I scored 2 when I know I scored a hat trick?
This guy's pretty clever.
It was my
He's got a computer in front of him.
100 and,
I thought you won away
It was my
2-0.
150th goal for Arsenal, the hat trick.
Well,
goal.
was one of them
Patrick
outside
came
of the
on.
right foot pass from you?
No, that was the Blackburn.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, but we're talking about Sheffield Wednesday.
He was sub.
Yes.
I'm
First
talking about
time
the
he
first
remembers him
time
was
I
Blackburn.
remember
Right.
seeing him
This is not
play.
about you, Ian.
This is not about you.
I scored 2 goals. I
Yeah,
scored
but did
3,
you-
and you know this.
Did you score 2 against Blackburn?
Yes, 2.
Yes,
two
exactly. I
great
remember
goals.
2-0 away from home, but I remember him playing a pass.
No.
With the outside of the right
It was
foot.
unbelievable because I remember it perfectly. Because I think the ball
wow.
came. He played a 1-2 with. He played a 1-2 with Merce, wasn't it?
With Merce.
Merce played it, and then the ball came, and this is Patrick hit outside of the right foot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. It's just
Outside the right foot.
Yeah.
outside the right foot
Just a
from the
flash,
left
yeah.
hand side.
I need to see video evidence of this.
Honestly, you got to get the goal from here, and he passed it in and took out the defender. Obviously, my touch and finish was amazing, but the ball from Patrick was where you've realised it's different levels. I remember there's another chance. What didn't used to happen a lot for us is that I remember Patrick broke from, we played against Wimbledon, broke from our half, and like normally they get the ball, then they pass it to the side and pass it. But Patrick was one of our first midfielders who's able to run with it and progress, and to the point where then he could slip me in. And you know, these are the chances I was starting to get now. You know, a midfielder who can see you, whether it's from 20 yards away or you run it through and pass it through to you.
What was he like when you first came in? How was Righty?
What do you mean? What was right? Like I was.
He was crazy. It was something that I never seen before in the house. Different character, personality. Anyway, every club that I went, I never met somebody like.
Good thing or bad thing?
Good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, good things.
You always want a goal scorer in your team, don't you? No matter how mad, even if they're late for training. You forgive a goal scorer, don't you?
Patrick, I played with England with Tony Adams. He was a massive influence on me, actually, in terms of how he played, how he sort of organised the back four. Always, what was he like at Arsenal? Obviously, you came into Arsenal. What was his influence on you?
He was the main man. Mm-hmm. Just the way that he was standing in there in the dressing room, or when he was leading the team, working through the tunnel, you said he's a true leader. He's a true leader. That's what I call a real captain. You know, he will take his responsibility. He's really vocal, and on the field, of course, he's got this kind of leadership. He's driving the players, but I loved Tony, how he was in the dressing room.
He got criticised a lot in his career, didn't he, Tony Adams? Maybe, do we give him enough credit?
England
Maybe
maybe
England
a bit
stuff, yeah, the
times.
media would kind of, listen, poke fun at him quite a bit, wouldn't they?
He had the donkey stuff, didn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah,
I
that's
think that
what
was
I mean.
after that tournament in '88 where England were
Yeah, but we're talking about Van Basten.
Exactly.
I know.
Tearing into pieces.
But maybe us as opposition players, maybe still don't give. You've played with him, obviously, with England.
Yeah.
Maybe don't give Tony Adams enough credit. Maybe.
I think he's a type of players who make everybody, especially the defense, better because of the way that he's communicated with them.
I always think the best centre backs, they can carry a back four.
Yeah.
And Tony Adams did that.
He's one of them,
You know,
yeah.
you think of Lee Dixon, Nigel Winterburn, brilliant for us, but they weren't international players. Really. They didn't play for England.
But it's not just
really.
being smarter, Jamie. Tony Adams, a top defender, they have people around them.
Yeah, of course.
They don't
Well,
get
they're
isolated.
smart
They have
people as well, yeah.
you're sitting with the full back, she's sitting going, don't isolate me. I think that's just
But I
football
think-
intelligence.
But I also think when someone's that good at a centre back, it almost feels like not anybody could play with them, but they can carry them through a game. I think for me, when I judge centre back, it's not like, oh, I get the checklist. He's great in the air, he's quick, he's good on the ball, all this stuff. The real best ones, they have leadership qualities where it feels like no matter who, basically the person playing next to them plays the best football they've played because they're alongside this one. They
Tony
feel
had
safe.
that.
Yeah.
Tony had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's as well, he could recognise when we're in the game and it's not going well, and everybody just stay. Don't go Patrick, don't go Manu, just wait. Let's get the steam off of this.
Was Emmanuel Petit the perfect? He looked like the perfect partner for you.
Yeah.
Was he the perfect partner?
Yeah, he was. He was because at that time I was quite really young, so I was developing myself as a player. So I needed somebody next to me who can drive me, and Manu was a perfect player for me at that time because with his quality, I think we were quite really good together because he technically was a better player.
And he's
he
left,
was
he was right, yeah.
he was left, I was right, and he was creative on that. He was more going forward than myself, so I was more focusing on the defensive side, and Manu can drive himself a little bit more. And then when I had Gilberto, who was more defensive, that allowed me to go a little bit more forward. But at that time in my career, having Manu next to me was the best.
I saw him a few weeks ago, didn't we? We saw him at a game.
At the game?
He's big, isn't he? I didn't realise how big he was.
Massive,
Big
man.
guy,
Manu is
man.
big, massive.
They all were.